Okay, so we are starting for the day, and today we are going to do on types of leadership. Types of leadership. So, leadership can be understood through various styles. Please, I hope you are here. The class has started, please. Leadership can be understood through various styles. You get that? Each with its own approach to managing and guiding others. Leadership can be understood through various styles, each with its own approach to managing and guiding others. These styles often vary in response to the situation. The styles often vary in response to the situation, the individuals involved, and the goals to be achieved. Below are the most common types of leadership styles and examples of how they apply to international leadership. Please, if you are trying to use your phone, don't play that smartness. Just put your phone aside and pay attention to this class, please. I repeat, leadership can be understood through various styles, each with its own approach to managing and guiding others. Any comment about it? Leadership can be understood through various styles, with its own approach to managing and guiding others. These styles often vary in response to situation. One situation, you know that? The individuals involved, because the way you manage kindergarten is not the way you manage primary school, it's not the way you manage secondary school, it's not the way you manage university. And the goals to be achieved. And there are different goals in the university, university and the secondary school, primary school, kindergarten. Now in this class, we're going to look at some of the types of leadership. So how can you say, what have you to say about this concept? Leadership can be understood through various styles with its own approach to managing and guiding others. And these styles often vary in various response to the situation, the individuals involved, and the goals to be achieved. Any comment? Any comment? Let me start with Mikal.
I think there's no comment because
do you have any example to support if there is no comment?
there's no comment because I believe that leadership is actually the way to guide others, which is well explained. So,
but there are more to that in this sentence. Don't take it so lightly. There is more to that.
yeah, because leadership is not every aspect of our life. I think either we are being led or we are the leaders. So actually, it varies. There are different types of leadership, which we have different approach. As you said, the way you guide kindergarten is not the same way you guide adults. So in the midst of intellectuals, you also know how to guide them and how to approach to achieve your goal. So to me, I think the introduction is okay.
Okay, Sir Chinedu, what have you to say? Leadership can be understood through various styles, each with its own approach to managing and guiding others. These styles often vary in response to the situation, the individuals involved, and the goals to be achieved.
Well, I don't have much to say because it still boils down to what you just explained. Now,
what did I just explain?
The approach we should use in managing those in kindergarten is quite different with the one you use on primary school students, secondary school student and university. So it differs. Leadership comes in a way that it depends on the person that is involved, the people that you are dealing with. For you now to know how you manage them or to approach them. So that's what I have to say.
Sometimes when we talk like this, it's very easy to talk. But action. Okay, Emmanuel. Leadership can be understood through various styles, each with its own approach to managing and guiding others. These styles often vary in response to the situation, the individuals involved, and the goals to be achieved.
I think the introduction is self-explanatory, but I will add a little comments from my own perspective, which is truthfully, yes, leadership varies based on the situation and the goals we intend to attain. So I would use a servant and his leader, for instance. The kind of leadership that goes on there is totally different from what happens in like an institution where you have other people under you. So I feel at the end of the day, as the introduction stated, it's all about the goals that needs to be achieved. The leader could approach his kind of style, or his style would be the one that wants to be an exemplary one. So the people that are under him can pick a thing or two from, and as such, he has attained his goal of inspiring the people under him to do better for when he's not there. Can also be a servant and a leader situation, as I explained earlier, where some leaders would feel like maybe punishing these servants is a way of them learning. So that's my own understanding. But I think a leader in an office can be different at home because of the different scenarios. Yeah.
Okay. Michael?
Well, for me, my own understanding of this sentence is that leadership has its own style depending on the context involved. You get so each leadership has its strength and its weakness. Yeah. So, and a good leader should be able to know what his own weakness, his strength or his own weakness, depending on the situation, and be able to apply the strategy to achieve a particular goal that is the leader desires to achieve for his team or for his organization. So that's what I understand.
Okay, I see. I see me.
So, according to me,
According to you.
yes.
Okay.
First of all, since leadership focuses on influencing and motivating people to achieve a shared goal, so leadership styles differ on every level. For example, I'll mention one type of leadership that might be a democratic type of leadership, whereby a leader or the head will have a group of people, which might be a team, whereby that he has to involve that team in making decisions in whatever they have to do, such that they can be able to come to a shared goal. So the way that shared goal will be achieved, it will differ from other types of leadership. Just like how you said that, how leadership in a kindergarten, at a secondary level, at a university or at a college, differs because things are different on how they have to be handled depending on a given level.
Okay. So, we all agree with the statement. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so leadership can be understood through various styles, with each his own approach to managing and guiding others. What I understand here is exactly what most of you have said. When you are into a leadership, you have to look at the people you are leading, the level of understanding, the level of grasping situations, and the level of philosophy of life they operate in. It is not actually by age sometimes. Sometimes you think it's age, but the age, somebody of 20 years might be behaving more mature than someone of 40 years. So it depends on situation. You look at the situation and then determine the kind of leadership you are going to apply. Because what may work for this particular place may not work for this particular place. Hello? Someone was telling me today, he went into a particular university, and the person who is taking care of that particular university used to be my student here. And in that particular university, he noticed some kind of mess going on among a particular population of people. And then the person, a student that had graduated here, who happened to be in that particular university, now asked the person who is also particular to who may have, who graduated here and is in charge of that particular university. And then, having noticed the mess there, and asked him, "Have you called Dr. Emmanuel to ask questions or guidance how he can be of help? Otherwise, this your university might not be the way you expect it." Why am I using this one? The person might be commending me or recommending me in that situation, but you have to understand that even while I am in that particular seat, trying to follow that particular approach, you said approach here, with its own approach. Listen, you know, when we are in the class, so we tend to put it in theory, but practical is not often very easy. Leadership can be understood through various styles, each with his own approach to managing and guiding others. Take this very serious. It's very easy to say it in the class and read it, but I bet you, as a leader, if you don't have a particular approach to control, to manage, to handle certain situations, I'm afraid you might not be getting it correctly. Hello? Because the way you manage this particular situation might not be the same way you manage the other situation. So leadership can be understood through various styles, each with its own approach. My own approach of managing the assignment given to me in this university might be different from your own approach, might be different from another person's approach. But the problem often comes when someone comes from somewhere and wants you to manage it the way he wants it. Somebody leaving his own area, coming into your own zone to tell you what to do. Have you ever seen something like that before? And most times, as you're here, most of you here, you are here as a student, it's very easy to analyze things as a student. That's the easiest thing to do. But you know what? How I wish there's a way things rotate. So that one of you come and become the leader just 1 month. And then lead those people that most of those your friends that you are talking and gossiping and just analyzing things. I bet you that 1 month, if you don't run away, then because the comfort zone is to be where you are now, but uncomfort zone is to where I am. So it's very, very difficult actually. So when you see approach, take it very serious. It's about you. Not everybody will accept it. Not everybody will sanction it. Not everybody will approve it. Not even everybody will confirm it. But the point is that your approach to managing and guiding others is very, very essential. Because we are in a very selfish world. Everybody thinks about himself or herself. Hello? Are you there?
Yes.
Now let's get to one of the types of leadership. Mike, are you in this class? Sure? Okay. Autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership is characterized by a leader making decisions without consulting others. You get that? The leader has full control over decision making and expects subordinates to follow instructions without question. Do you agree with that? Yes. Autocratic leadership. Yes, most of you are tired, so I have to try to rush this class since most of you are tired. I'm looking at Tinkalo. I don't know whether he's here or outside here. Autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership is characterized by a leader making decisions without consulting others. The leader has full control over the decision making and expects subordinates to follow instructions without question. Are you there? Yeah. Example in international leadership. In the context of international diplomacy, an autocratic leader might make critical decisions regarding trade agreements or international relations without consulting other nations or their own country's cabinets. You get that? In the context of international diplomacy, an autocratic leader might make critical decisions regarding trade agreements or international relations without consulting other nations or their own country's cabinet. An example of this could be a country's president or dictator making decisions unilaterally without seeking advice or consent from other government officials. Hello? Are you there? Okay, let me move on because I would like for you to ask questions at the end. Democratic participative leadership. Democratic leadership is marked by a leader who seeks input from the group before making decisions. This style is inclusive, where feedback from team members or stakeholders is valued and considered. It's easier said than done. Any comment? Is this easier said than done? Autocratic leadership is marked by a leader who seeks input from the group of people making decisions. In this case, he doesn't make all the decisions. He takes permission from people. He takes permission from followers. He tries to share ideas and information. You know, it's just like a consensus. Say your mind. Even before making decision, he will have to ask to know how the decision he has made will affect other people. Are you there? Example in international leadership. European Union is an example of democratic leadership where decisions are made collaboratively among members' countries. The European Commission, Parliament, or Council involve representatives from multiple nations, creating policies or regulations that reflect the collective will of its members. Hello? Are you there? Yeah. Do you agree with that? European Union is an example of democratic leadership where decisions are made collaboratively among the member countries. Collaboratively. If you get Schengen visa, you can travel all they are 21, right? I can't remember vividly. You travel all the European countries, at least those that are in the bloc. Then those are European commissions, they have parliaments, they have councils, involved in representatives from multiple nations, creating policies or regulations that reflect the collective will of its own members. All they are doing is how to satisfy their people. That is why it is called democratic principles and leadership. Are you there? Okay. Transformational leadership. Someone after you must have experienced that leader, you have changed, you will change. You will change for life because you'll always remember the person. Because the person has he or she has transformed your life, has transformed your mindset, has transformed your understanding, has transformed your philosophy of life. Transformational leaders focus on inspiring, motivating others to achieve high levels of performance and personal growth. They emphasize vision, innovation, and change to make a meaningful impact. You never wanted to do your master's degree, but maybe because of someone you may have met, he or she may have transformed your concept of life, and you kept on studying to the point of master's, probably from master's to the PhD. Are you there? Transformational leadership. After experiencing this kind of a person, if you sleep, you think about the person, what he has done, the good thing he has done. Whenever you wake up, you think about the person. When you move around, you think about the contribution of this person in your life positively. He has actually transformed you to form a humanitarian assignment for yourself because you remembered such a person. Are you there? Example in international leadership. Nelson Mandela is a key example of transformational leadership on the global stage. He led South Africa through a period of transformation, advocating for equality, justice, and reconciliation, and inspired people worldwide to stand against apartheid and oppression. Nelson Mandela. Do you have another example from your country who is an example of transformational leader? In Nigeria, do you have? Do you have anyone? For me, in Nigeria, I have Buhari. Buhari, for me, is a transformational leader. Do you have anyone to share your own before I share my own? Don't you have any leader in Nigeria that's transformational?
There is, for me.
I think currently I would say the
Mike, are you with Mike?
Okay, talking about the kind of the leadership that have transformed the people's perspective of Abia State is the current leader, current governor of Abia State, because Abia State was seen in Nigeria. It has been a kind of a death trap where everybody feel that is abandoned. So, but this present governor came in and brought hope to the people. Everywhere you go in Abia State, there is massive development, massive infrastructure going on. And then I feel that it has made people to know that Abia State actually has what it takes to be like other states, but just because they've been having a bad governance. So that's why they are not in their full potential. So that's why I feel that
So as a governor, he transformed Abia as a state.
Yes.
Not that he transformed me as an individual.
No, he transformed Abia as a state and also transformed people's idea, people that feel that Abia State has nothing to offer. Right? Like,
but then that's one thing about transformational leader. Your analysis is very correct as it relates to governor and the state.
Yeah, sure.
But individual is about long life kind of transformation. Yeah, he may transform the state, but not necessarily transforming people individually. But the state can still pick up from there. Individuals from the state can pick up from there and following that transformational agenda on individual basis. Hello? Even a policy can also transform people, but it depends on civil servants. How his policy may have made the father, the mother, the parents, the family to get. So that is the tenets of transformational leadership. You have anything to say?
Yeah.
Are you from Abia?
No.
Of course, you can't come from Abia.
Why?
Because you are typical Imo. Are you from Imo? You are from Imo now?
What's typical Imo, sir?
Typical Imo State guy? Very typical.
What is typical? What is it about? Exactly.
Imo State guys are typical. In my experience. Anambra people are so typical in their own way, but I know why I said Imo. And I know why I can dictate. Sometimes when there are 10 Igbos, when they act, I can easily dictate the state by their attitude and character.
Is this positives or negative?
I'm not being judgmental. I'm not God, but whatever it is, let it be.
Because I have my own perception of
No matter where you are born and brought up, if I know about two Abia State guys born and brought up in Lagos, but he just came to me, talked with me. I said, "Are you from Imo? Are you from Abia?" He said, "How do I know?" So just my instinct tells me because of your behavioral pattern. He said, "But then he was born and brought up in Lagos. Doesn't matter. DNA is DNA." Okay, continue, sir.
All right, sir. My own example of a transformational leader. But before I continue, I would like to ask, for instance, in the case of the government now, he mentioned Abia State government, which I think is more about how the governor has transformed the states than the people. But can there be a situation where a leader can transform people in a government context now, transform people, but the state is not transformed?
Yeah, it's possible.
All right,
because transformation, in my own view, I may be wrong, but I think is more or less a long life kind of project.
Okay.
And the long life project in state might be the 4 years the person may have led and then continued. But then transformation is that just as I am here, I may not have transformed you because I'm living a scandalous life. Yeah. I may not have transformed anybody here because I'm living a scandalous life. Example, I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not human. And it doesn't mean that I cannot be a good governor to bring in a policy that will transform the state. But on an individual basis, I may not have the capacity. Vice versa, the same thing. A particular governor might transform the people, chief of staff, commissioners, the people he's working directly, but has not been able to transform the state.
Let me wrap up. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to speak about someone who I consider a transformational leader in the government sense, and that is Governor Rochas Okorocha. The reason is before he even became a governor, a lot of people I know who have good education and quality education went through his Rochas Foundation. And then when he became governor, I was actually in my SS3 then, just about to write WAEC, and I benefited from the free education just a little, but I know how much impact he made in the state. A lot of people went back to school. So many people I know was able to at least finish secondary school and down to the university as well. The tuition was slashed. I think Imo State people really enjoyed that free education era. Although, why I asked my question at first is because despite all of those good things in terms of transforming people directly, the state's thoughts or the perception is that he was a bad governor. But for me, in this transformational leadership part, I would give it to him because he actually transformed not just my life, but people around, not just with the scholarship as well. There are other things that got to me directly that transformed me in a way through his leadership. So
perfect. I will agree with you. I will totally agree with you. Roger Shokrasha is a great Igbo man. But in politics, people can twist a lot of things. Even myself here before you guys and say I'm university, there are people that whatever you talk about me is about negative. And there are people who talk about me and say, if not this man, I wouldn't have studied. If not this man, I wouldn't have been in this country. If not this man, I wouldn't have broadened my horizons. In fact, if not this man, I wouldn't, because there was even a time I was moving around looking for people to enter school in this particular country when nobody was talking about education. I go to Sukhumvit at that time. Some people were using 100,000 baht to extend their visa through a lawyer. And I asked this person, do you have a WAEC? He said, yes. Then why not use your work and go to school, pay school fees, and use it to extend your visa? As soon as I did it, one person did it, entire Nigeria started doing that. Majority. Because then, it was as if nobody has directed majority of us in that arena. Today, Thailand has been a hub of education for most Africans, especially Nigeria. Nobody even talk about the starting point. So, but still, you still some people will still say, "Oh, this is the most horrible guy I've ever met in my life." So the point is that don't ever destroy yourself thinking that everybody will accept whatever you do. Everybody will always accept, see you as a transformational person. Transformation depends on individual, actually. You may even transform person by your style of life, not that the person has come closer to you. You can transform person automatically, depending, because we are all wired differently. You can transform someone because the person because you know how to take care of animals. You can transform person because you know how to read books. So it depends, it's variegated. Just as all of us, we have so many different faces. That is that's how I view life. There's no way, not possible in this world, that whatever you do, people will come up with the same answer. But sometimes majority might come positively this year. Another year it might turn out to be negative. Life continues to move. Okay.
The transformation leadership can be both negative and positive.
What makes it negative?
Okay. Let me use Osama bin Laden as an example.
Osama bin Laden?
Yeah. So I think he is a leader that has transformed so many Islamic extremists that are terrorizing the whole world.
Is that transformed?
Yes, he transformed. You have to give them the ideology that told them to come. You have to fight for this. You have to fight for.
But in this case, I am afraid we are talking about positive transformation.
You're talking about, but leadership can also be this kind of transformation can also be both negative and the positive, depending on who wants it.
It might be possible, but we are talking about the positive aspect because we are not glorifying negativism. Even Hitler transformed people. But anyway, in this world, there's no world that everybody is totally bad. I believe that someone, even the worst person, has something to offer. Even the person you think has got the worst, he or she may have transformed someone positively still. This yesterday?
Yeah, from what you just said, that a leader have, in one way or the other, contributed to the transforming of people's lives. You get so in the history of Nigeria, most people would want to believe that IBB is Ibrahim Babangida. He's a villain, a villain of some sort. Most people want to believe that. But yesterday, what happened yesterday? During his book launch, he launched his book, his biography, and they were like the elites of the elites of Nigeria came and they launched the book with him, and the testimonies they were giving about him was amazing. Someone like Arthur Eze.
So why? What is so special about that?
Yeah, because Arthur Eze was like, without him.
Why did you think that he doesn't want to be receiving the positive attribute you are talking about?
Yeah, just like I mentioned that so many people in the Nigerian.
That's what I say. Why?
Yeah, because of the June 12 election, he annulled it. There were so many things he did that affected Nigeria's democracy.
Is he really the one that annulled it?
That was the history. That he was the one. He was head of state. He was head of state during June 12. He annulled the election. So? That is the history out there.
Anyway, I understand what they're saying, but my own view has always been that IBB is a man of take. In fact, when he was the president, Nigeria was very, very successful, in my own view.
But
Nigerians were actually very, very industrious and very, very rich.
Well,
he brought up so many people, especially from the Igbo fraction, or is it called a fraction, right?
Yeah, Igbo tribe or society.
From the Igbo tribe. Most of people that made it over there, they were all from IBB. IBB, who actually pardoned Ojukwu. Is it IBB? I think, yeah. Was the one that brought him back too. If I'm not mistaken, it should be IBB.
So,
People are wired to negative information and they live by it and they die with it. The life is a choice. You can use to listen, at least to align yourself with whichever one that you want. Why I'm saying is because my generation, of course, age gap also, I can say one or two things that are very practical, but you might read in the book because of age, because I am having different view. I've never seen him as a problem.
okay, so in this issue of
maybe that's what
transformational,
you have experienced, but because you, some of us followed history, I mean, stories people just propagate out there, and then you may have gotten that in that way. But thank God that's not kind of a thing happened for you to see.
okay, so in transformational leadership, for me, I would say it depends on who is asking if a leader is transformational. Because if someone like we mentioned, someone like Osama bin Laden or even Hitler, that the world wants to project as a villain, also, there are people that will tell you that Hitler is not a villain. There are people that will tell you, I will stand to that and tell you that Osama bin Laden is not a villain, that he was fighting for something. He was fighting for something, for their right or something. So it depends on who is asking. Like if this person is transformational, even Nelson Mandela is arguable. I've heard South Africans said Nelson Mandela is not a leader, is not a hero.
Yeah, correct.
South Africans have argued it, that some of them don't believe that he's a hero. Yeah, but right now, it is an example is given of him as a transformational leader.
Yeah.
So it is arguable as well.
Sometimes it depends on who is saying it, because the Western people, they praise you after they must have used you to destroy your people, and then they put you as an example. Because they use it to satisfy their
interest.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much for that. Let's move on.
So, sorry, you have not answered our question.
What was the question?
The question is, you said Buhari is your transformational leader. So what?
That's exactly the same example you just gave now, because I remember when I was studying in Abuja, and then I was then in Missionary Society of St. Paul, and we went out to go and get fuel, and behold, look at Buhari, a common man, with all of us queuing. And when he was spotted, some people wanted him. Then he wasn't the second president now, because he was the military president. He was so humble that he said he's a Nigerian, that if he's a Nigerian, he should queue like every other person. Don't treat me special. If you want to treat me special, try to make the line fast enough so that I will take my own turn. That particular scenario actually transformed my perception of him, I mean, Nigerian leaders, so to say. And I've always think that he's such a very humble and gentle and down-to-earth person. But that was why many people believed in him at the time he came. But the point is that what is holding us is more than one person as a president. The selfish interest and self-centered interest in our system. And we're not looking at it because we are wired to pay attention, to look for someone to blame. At every stage, we have someone to blame. At every stage, there's somebody to be held accountable, not me. But then I will push it to someone else. It makes us not to think and not to reflect. So if you ask me, yes, he is for me, and many other examples of him that I've encountered in those days.
Okay.
And when he was the leader, it wasn't when most of you were born, I think. Yeah. That was in 1985, if I'm not mistaken. War against indiscipline was very effective. And if we had continued with that, if we had had that kind of leader today, oh my God, I think we would have been the most disciplined African nation. Because when you can think about discipline, not just come to Thailand and learn it. No, you should come from kindergarten. You should come from primary school. You should come from secondary school. Why we see that we are inferior, sometimes you and I, when we confront other Westerners or white people or whichever one, Europeans, it's just simply because if you and I, you can guess that sometimes our behavior is something else. because it's coming from upbringing. And that's why our leaders want us to stay. That's why they're not improving. They don't want us to improve. They want, because the more we are poor in getting poor education, not coming up, the more they stay there with their family and the leadership. So it is intentional. So if it is intentional, I'm afraid that we need to do something, but who will do? Because how can you do that? How many of us here are battling and struggling to pay school fees? But other countries are taking care of their own people for their school fees. Some people are on scholarship, but you are here suffering. Do you know what it takes? You can tell better what you go through to pay your school fees. By the time you finish that kind of struggle, now tell me what is left for you to think. think better. Tell me what is left. You will still think smarter, but just know that for the fact that you are in this class, look at most of you on your phone. Even the teacher is talking every time on the phone. Why? Because you're trying to survive. I am trying to survive. So much so that even to learn the basic, you might see some of us with PhD, but our attitude and character cannot match with global incentive. Because when we were studying those things, most of us from developing countries, we were distracted. And why are we distracted? We are distracted because we have to make a living. I don't know if you are getting this point. We're distracted because we have to make a living. All of us here, they simply shattered. And who is shattering us? Because the people we kept there, we keep worshiping them, and they're there for their parents, for their family and for themselves. Because the money we are generating in that country is enough to pay for your school fees here, so that you concentrate and do research, knowing fully well that money is there waiting for you, knowing fully well that you have something to back on. But look at how all of us are here struggling. So that's what they call generational dismantlement, in my own view. And by the time you get out of it, sorry for you, nothing is left. Even the so-called education you think you have gotten is nothing, because you never paid attention. You never studied. You are struggling to survive more than even paying attention to school. Hello?
Hello.
Am I making sense?
Yes. So,
but I don't mean use your phone. Emmanuel, are you here, or are you sure you are here? Because whenever your eyes behaves in certain ways, moves in certain direction, I tend to think you are using your phone.
yes.
Okay. So, any question?
No question. I just want to give example of my own transformational leader or revolutionary leader. For me, I think Nnamdi Azikiwe is a transformational leader. Yeah, because I think he is a fantastic example of who a devoted Nigerian should be. Because, for example, he was born in the north, in Niger State, and he speaks fluent Hausa language, and he's Igbo. The kind of he was instrumental in the fights for independence for Nigeria.
And then what did they say? What have we benefited from being independent? Because major roads that are done by the British people are still stronger today, more than the one we just did ourselves. What is so special about independence from him?
I'm not really focusing on the independent. That is another thing. And I'm talking about the individual that struggled for the fight for independence.
The struggle for what? What is the essence of it? Because are we really independent today? And then what's the fact? What makes you think you are Nigerians or other African countries are independent? Or just because you are from physically independent, or material independent, or immaterial independent? I mean, give me an example to show that you are really independent.
In the real sense of independent, I think most African countries are not independent.
Then what are we thanking someone for?
Yeah, because
just like robbing Peter to pay Paul, robbing Mike to pay Chid.
It's the same thing we are also thanking Nelson Mandela for stopping apartheid.
Is he the one that stopped apartheid?
He was instrumental.
Instrumental,
in the
but
fight.
not the one that stopped it.
Yeah, but he was Nnamdi Azikiwe was also instrumental.
Those who even went to be killed and massacred might even be more instrumental than Mandela.
Nnamdi Azikiwe was also instrumental
Instrumental for what?
the independence of Nigeria from
And
the
then-
British people.
And then you are also saying that we're not independent, and you're thanking someone for our independence.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Ceremonial independence, I agree. I think I would say that is my transformational leader. If I remember the story of going to the water, Mami water, with the bottle, and then did you hear the story?
Of who?
Of going to Nnamdi Azikiwe went to
No.
the river Niger,
This is my first time.
and then
hearing
Mami water was actually joking or playing. Then he brought in a bottle, and then Mami water, he was joking with Mami water, trying to scam Mami water. You never hear the story? Oh, this you call it Gen Z or whatever.
I'm not Gen Z, please.
So Mami Water, he played over Mami Water. Mami Water wanted to perform wonder. So Mami Water entered into the bottle. He closed the bottle and used it and came out from the river. And that is how that River Niger did not sweep every other place.
For real?
Otherwise, River Niger would have been coming. The entire Anambra would have been a river.
Hey, it looks like Hollywood story. Sounds like
So that story, transformational for me, unlike the person himself. Yeah.
Yeah, but so we cannot also deny the fact that he is a true Nigerian.
I don't know what you mean by Nigerian. For me, I wouldn't have preferred to be a Nigerian if this is what Nigeria is all about.
If you had the choice, but you unfortunately not.
So Nigerian, stories are told. Sometimes we won't even know which one is correct and which one is true about our forefathers. So, but anyway, hold on to that particular part of transformational personality, because that's about you and enables you to move on in life. Okay. Hello, are you there? So, so we move on to the next, transactional. Transactional leadership is based on structured tasks, clear expectations, and rewards or punishment to motivate followers. The focus is efficiency, routine, and achieving specific goals. What are we to say transactional? Transactional. You give me, I give you. You shop me, I shop you.
Win-win.
Win-win. You enjoy me, I enjoy you. And you are my boss, then I work for you. You pay me my money, and then I work for you. Say, transactional leadership based on structured tasks. Just as I am here, at the end of the month, CM University will pay me, but then I have to teach you because I'm having the degree of CM University, not my degree. That's my transaction. So all of my relationship with is centered towards getting something and then receiving something and doing something. Clear expectations. You got that? You protect me, you become my boy, you become my girl, you make sure you take care of me, of my office, I make you take care of my image, take care of my reputation. Then you have a reward. But if you fuck up, then you'll be dealt with. Either you'll be sacked from the work. So that is what transactional leadership will be all about. There are more to it. Structured tasks, clear expectations, the reward or punishment to motivate others. The focus is on efficiency, on routine, on achieving specific goals. The goal here is to teach students as a lecturer. So my boss will be taking good care of me, not because he likes me as a person, but he likes the job to be done. He likes the student to be taken care of. So he's taking care of me in terms of my benefit, excuse me, insurance, and other things that he may provide for the lecturer, just for you to be in a good shape to take care of his student. Are you there? Are you there? Now, example of an international leadership. Look at, in organizations like the United Nations, transactional leadership might be seen in the way peacekeeping missions are carried out. Countries contribute troops and resources with clear mandates and expectations in exchange for maintaining international order and stability. Do you get any point there? We are going to keep peace in this particular country, provide their own troops, provide their own money. Some international nations, they know every country will contribute. We have a goal there to achieve. And that is the target of the leaders. Laissez-faire leadership. Leadership involves a hands-full approach, allowing team members or subordinates to make decisions on their own with minimal interference from the leader. This style works best when the team is highly skilled and experienced. Allow everybody to work. Laissez-faire. I don't want to bother you. Okay, you said you want to do this. Please make a plan about it and execute it. And you say you want to do this, make a plan about it and execute it. Emmanuel Center, you want to do this, make a plan about it and execute it. Separate. You want to do something, make a plan, execute it. I will not interfere as a leader. I want you to show your professional acumen. I want you to demonstrate that your experience, show your skills, show your talent. So, but then this is often better when people are skilled and when people are experienced. What if people are not skilled and they are not experienced and the leader is there in the office allowing the subordinate to do whatever they want? Chinedu, I think this might fit your what that on your job before? Huh? Yeah, former job. This is where you might fit. Laissez-faire leadership. The boss is in the office. He has sent his boys to go and do wonders outside. Take your own decision. In a corrupt system, maybe give me my own share when you come back.
But anything that any consensus.
Don't you have something to give the boss?
Unless people have.
And of course, there are people that have agreement. We will put you in a particular post where such thing happen. You want to defend them? Road safety. He's a road safety guy. In fact, even after this, after the journey in Thailand, he will still go back and do it. He's on a sabbatical leave.
I'm sending in routes that are routes that are paid.
Roads that are paying. You struggle to go to those roads. But do you do that thing they do like this? I don't know how they.
Flagging down the
Yes.
Oh, so you do it also, but you don't do the one they do with the like. You just do like this.
That one is different. That was road warden.
No, that one is the one that was.
Sometimes somebody will be dancing and be there.
Traffic control.
Is that not what you do?
No.
Oh, road safety is different from traffic control.
No, it's those I use. Those ones I use.
Do you have mic there?
I want to correct something.
I
want to correct something.
We have not heard what you said, and you're correcting it.
Road safety doesn't use their vehicle to block.
To do what?
To block.
But I grew up knowing that in Nigeria, road safety they block the road.
Maybe that was them, but during the time I worked with them, there was never a time we block.
But I heard that whenever you hear, most you guys will be the first to run away.
That was when this
unknown government
started attacking uniform personnel.
Wait, I am the one.
Okay.
I think he's one of the officials. He's going to defend his profession.
Exactly.
But I am the one receiving at the receiving end. You
Exactly.
understand? So I am the one to tell him my experiences about road safety
Perfect.
in Nigeria. Yeah, maybe there are some of them that are okay, but what I would tell you is number one, the road safety job, they will see maybe a car without a tail light, cracked windscreen, this and that, and all those things. They will see a bus, a passenger bus that will come and give them 100 or 200 naira. They will allow that vehicle to cross. Just you are at the back of this vehicle that has none of these things. You understand? Then you are carrying a flashy car that just one bulb died, maybe mistakenly. You understand? Even if even if the bulb died in their presence, they will now hold you and tell you because they feel that you have a flashy car, you can pay the money. That you pay big money. Do you understand?
Evidence.
You are talking about evidence. Yeah, what you ask me is that do I have a witness? Wait, no. You ask me if I have. He or she will support. This is exactly what they will say. But I have some videos that will show you where a road safety official.
Even in Facebook, there are so many of them.
Yeah, a road safety official is blocking a vehicle, or that is on motion. But you are talking about is road safety. You are trying to make sure that there is no accident. Because this guy did not pay a certain amount or something, or maybe you are trying to stop the guy and the guy did not stop, then wait. What you should have done is maybe take the vehicle number and all this stuff, then go and do your forensic search and all this stuff, and get the vehicle.
What of those that didn't register their number?
There is no way. That is it. When you stop, there's something that kind of vehicle. You should also check if the vehicle has a registered number plate and all that. Why will you also? Why? Because you know that the vehicle license belongs to the road safety, right? So every vehicle in Nigeria has a license, a plate number, right? So now you are now telling me that some vehicles do not register their plate number. Does it mean that you give fake plate numbers as well?
So this number plate that you're talking about, I can go to all these artist people. They will craft something and give me without me registering it. So you saying that I should know that they should know that the number plates are being registered. When we flag you down, you did not stop. So how am I going to know that that number plate or the one that you fix in your vehicle is registered? So how am I going to know about? Then secondly, in blocking the motorists that you talked about, maybe the young man that they flagged down refused to stop. And in attempt, hold on now. Then in attempt to block you or stop you, you use your vehicle to chase the officer out of the road. So maybe by doing so, your vehicle knocked one of the marshals down. So what do you expect our driver or the road safety people to do? They would to just stand and be maybe.
Do you use gun? Do you use gun?
No, we don't use gun. We don't use
I want to ask him a question. Does Thailand have we all are in Thailand? Wait, does Thailand have road safety? Do you think that Thailand has road safety? Right?
Yes, they do.
Have you ever seen a Thai road safety on a highway stopping a moving vehicle on a highway?
On a highway.
Yes.
Has he ever been on a highway?
Have you ever seen anyone?
You should ask me whether.
No, because listen, let me tell you, we are all the product of this rotten institution in Nigeria. Listen, and we wait. No. I have to.
Why?
I have
Is
to.
it not a country?
It's a country.
Why?
It's not.
Why is it developed?
So why is it?
Why is it? Why?
What makes it better?
Nigeria can feed. In my
Listen.
own view, Nigeria can feed 2 times of Thailand.
Listen, let me tell you. Listen.
Who put it there?
What stopped them? What stopped Nigeria?
Who put it there? And
Sir, excuse me.
listen to his argument.
Excuse me. Listen, let me tell you. Normally, I tell youth that we should stop complaining. Let us go and join and fix it. You understand? Listen. No, let me tell you. No. Let me tell you. Calm down. Let me tell you.
Because the corruption has been there before.
Thank you.
You cannot
change it.
Then you continue doing it. Let's see.
Calm down. This is Nigeria, and I know. Calm down. I want to tell you something.
You said there's hope.
Excuse me.
Why there's hope? Because you don't create the hope.
Calm down. I want to say something.
Before they will allow you to even come closer, you have to come intensely. Then okay, if I enter, this is what I'm.
Can you allow me to say something?
No, okay. Now let's listen to him before you.
Can you allow me to say something?
Round up.
Yeah, I want to round up. See, the problem we have as youths in Nigeria is that we are afraid.
Yes, I agree.
You understand? Our fear is that the leaders will do something. Do you know that this last election, that all the youths came out because before they started the results, and they saw youths outside, everybody is ready to do protests. They will not call that election. They will never do it.
Mm-hmm.
They are afraid of the people, but we are afraid of them. Guys.
Yes.
Because this is my pain, because even as I am, and I'm ready to come out and let's talk about this, let's go and fight for this, let's do something. And then I will talk to my fellow guy, I will talk to my fellow youth, and the person will tell me, oh, they want to die? All die is die. Listen.
Do you want that your fellow guy to?
Let me tell you one thing. Listen, let me give you an example of myself. Let me tell you one thing about my life.
Yes.
Wait,
listen.
Can you calm down? Let me tell you. I'm an Igbo man, and as a son, a male child of Igbo man, I'm supposed to be entitled of my inheritance of a land where I will build, as long as my family owns a land. That's where I will build my house, right? Then I came to the village. I said, okay, I want to build my house. I'm ready to build. And my uncle said that he's not giving me a land. Then others will be afraid. Oh, he's a witchcraft. He will do this, he will do that, he will do that. Everybody will run away, right? Do you know that I just gave them about 3 years? After the 3 years and they did not give me the land, I went there and I cleared 8 plots of land, fenced it within 1 week, started my building. We are in court, no problem. Do you understand me? This is what I am. I cannot be afraid of you. Because if you want to oppress me, I want you to test that oppression a little bit so that you know how it feels.
You are very correct.
Nobody that is a killer, that is not afraid of death. Let me tell you, calm down. Who is government? Who is the government?
Government is even the weakest part.
See,
if you are very strong,
let me tell you, if you are
government is people.
If I thought you listened to Amechi's interview of recent, he will tell you that the people, even the government there, they are afraid of the people. If people do not come out to vote, they will not call an election. Who are you going to give that somebody that won? That is why they want you to come out. Let people just come and do any brakatabra, and then they will just go and call anything they like. Now, the one we did last time about that's why I'm telling you that we Igbos, we Nigerian youths are actually lazy, as Buhari said. That is the truth. Had it been that after that election and everybody stood their ground even in that polling booth, that nothing will happen with all the videos that are going on, and tell them that all of us, that everybody listen.
Wait, somebody says talking.
Listen. And tell them that all of us, let us die, and all the die will be died. Highest, what they will do is that they will cancel that election and say that is not that they will redo it. They will look for a way to manipulate. Maybe at the end of the day, they will say, okay, Peter Obi will win. And then maybe they will start looking for a way maybe to impeach him or still. Huh? Listen, yes. Like, as I am now, listen, let me tell you. As I am now, This debt that you are talking about is that something that you cannot be too careful. You cannot be too careful. You might be driving a car. Let me just give you an example. You might be driving a car and they are so careful that you are driving a car, and someone from somewhere will hit you. That is how this life is. If you don't fight for it now, we all are here in Thailand, coming here to receive a good education, while we have the resources and have everything it takes in Nigeria to also receive the same good education. We are talking about road safety in Nigeria, and they are defending them that they are that you can't compare. Are they not? Are the people here in Thailand are they not human beings? Are they better than us? Are they better than Africans? Are they? But well, is it not the same head? So what is it? What makes you to be in office and you say, okay, you must do it this way? The third person say, if you don't want me to, I'm not doing this one. You understand? It can't be. See, one thing about how to survive in Nigeria is one thing is that just be that is make your own money. Whatever, yes.
Okay, let me hear from him.
So whatever thing that you want to say about Africa, this is the generally in Africa, we have weak and fearful youth.
But do you know where it's coming from, that weak and fearful youth?
It's from the colonial masters, I know.
Yeah, because the leaders met
and they give us this fake religion that makes us that forgive your neighbors.
Yeah, we're waiting for heaven.
Who?
We're waiting for heaven.
Somebody that is telling you that he shouldn't worry and all this, he's using gun and the ammunition to guide himself and tell you that he shouldn't worry. Come on.
Okay, Chile, did you have any counter?
I don't have much to say, but I want to counter him now. And he said
counter him or counter his point.
His point, sorry.
Okay.
He said that he will sacrifice that he will sacrifice his life to maybe make things work the way he wants. So
you are not ready to sacrifice your own life, right?
Why would I sacrifice my life?
That's the problem now. You have answered
because it's better that it's better. I'm not ready to sacrifice my life because even you that is saying this, you are not even ready to sacrifice your life. Even you know they say it's better said than done or what. You can just say it theoretically, but you can't practice it. We all know it.
You and who do it? You said we all
of us, we can say it theoretically, but you can't stand it. You can't even come out.
No, that is your own perception.
Practicalize it.
What you were saying, the former example is when it comes to slavery or whatever, this thing lies mostly in West Africa. It's not every part of Africa, because for us it's like with the slavery, it affects us a lot that we don't say anything much when it comes to weakness and all these things and the war in our area. But when it comes to East Africa and all these places, they stand so strong for themselves. Like, for example, something happened in Kenya the last time, and you are saying that you are not ready to sacrifice, but the youth of Kenya actually stood and sacrificed, and the government had to surrender to them. And you are now saying today that you are not ready to sacrifice. You are asking that who is ready to sacrifice. So what are you doing in this class? If you are learning politics, then you are not supposed to be here. If you are not ready to sacrifice for your country.
I also want to put something right now. You don't want to, excuse me, you don't want to sacrifice your life for a positive change, right? But you are already sacrificing your life to poverty. Mm-hmm. You're already sacrificing your life to, that is low self-esteem. You are here because maybe insecurity, right? Yeah. If you go home or one thing or the other, maybe you might die. Even if you did not die from the insecurity, maybe road accident might kill the person. There is the bad roads, whatever thing. So you understand? So many things. You are already sacrificing your life to this shithole you call a life, instead of coming up bold to fight for something. Because calm down. Let me tell you. Calm down. I will tell you. Listen. Wait. Let me finish, bro. Excuse me. Let me tell you.
For someone like him, shouldn't come to this.
Hey, listen,
look,
listen to me.
look.
Listen to me.
If he is not, if let me tell
If
you,
I'm not here, how
let
will I
me
know
tell you,
that this kind of a thing
if
exists?
he is alone,
Wait, if
Fight that.
wait,
that
if
don't
I am
want
not
to
here,
fight.
if I'm fighting on my own way, which you might not
Here in
know.
Thailand.
Listen, normally here in Thailand, they've never seen me in. Wait, let me tell you, you've never seen me since.
Someone that wants to sacrifice his life.
Calm
is in
down.
Thailand.
but
Calm
he's
down.
learning.
Can you just
if
can
he
you calm
cannot,
down? Let me tell
if
you.
he's here, he's in class.
So now, I am listen. Listen, let me
Are
tell you.
suffering.
That's why I left.
There is no probability. It's under probability. Listen, let me tell you. Even the sacrifice you're talking about, it is under probability that you will die or not die. Do you understand what I mean? And even as you are living now, there is still under probability that you will die or not die. Now, is it not better? Is it not better? Listen. Is it not better you die for something than dying for nothing? Do you understand what I mean? Is it not better you die for something than dying for nothing? You were a road safety officer, right? Yeah. When you were stopping a vehicle and maybe mistakenly the vehicle fell brake or something and hit you and you die, you died for nothing. You died because of 200 naira. You died because, listen.
That will happen because
why will you be? That is what you think. Do you understand? So now listen. This argument. Listen, please. This. Listen.
Very selfish leader.
Let me tell you.
Now this guy loves his life so much.
See, it's not even about stopping a moving vehicle.
This guy loves his life so much.
You might just be on your own by the side, and the person, maybe this person now.
He loves his life so much. And yet he's suffering in Thailand.
Maybe another officer must have made this guy now to be angry somewhere.
Okay, now.
And without fair that.
Okay, Laissez-faire has taken all our time. The fact remains is that laissez-faire leadership involves a hands-off approach, allowing team members or subordinates to make decisions on their own with minimal interference from the leader. This style works best when the team is highly skilled and experienced. You get that? The question is that what if it allows people who are not skilled, who are not experienced, who are not talented to be in charge? There will be anarchy. So that's why I say especially. It works highly. I mean, it works only mostly for those who are experienced, who know what they're supposed to do. Example in international leadership. In multinational corporations, leaders who adopt laissez-faire style might delegate significant authority to regional managers in different countries. For instance, a global company may allow local leadership in India to make decisions about marketing and business strategies suited to the Indian market without constant oversight from the corporate headquarters. Just like McDonald's, KFC, or whatever. You go, when I was in Spain, I could not eat anything. The only thing I remembered is burger. That was actually the only thing I was eating, actually. Because but then, when they are serving it there, the point is that, are you going to bring the McDonald's, who is even the owner of McDonald's? The company. In US, right? Yeah, but then they are almost everywhere. So he's saying that laissez-faire. Example of his international leadership is that someone from US cannot come and be managing it everywhere. So he might not delegate people from different countries to do that. There are many examples. Laissez-faire. Okay, now look at this one: servant leadership. Servant leadership prioritizes the needs of their team members and focus helping them grow and perform as highly as possible. This style is characterized by a focus on empathy, listening, and commitment to service. This is very dangerous. To empathize with who? As a leader. It's easier said than done. When you're a leader and you're servant leadership, I think you better go to the missionary and stay. Because in my own view, the world we are seeing today, and you want to be a servant leader, when you are employed, let's say myself, if I, for example, I say I am I'm a servant leader in Sayam University. Am I the owner of Sayam University? You want to empathize someone, you keep empathizing people and they keep dismantling you. You want to listen? Listen for what purpose? You are committed to the service for what purpose? So this is a very nice leadership style, actually. But the problem is that if you are an employee, how would you fit into it?
I think it depends on the context. Like, because from the beginning, you said the role is expected of you. I think this type of leadership is not suitable for every environment.
It's not. That's why I say missionary. For missionaries who are doing charity work, but then this is an ideal, this is the perfect part of serving means that you are there as an serving people, just like I'm here. I'm here to serve you. Wonderfully said. But what about my own interest? Because missionaries don't have interest other than the church, other than God or whatever. But imagine myself that needs to fuel my car. I need to build a house in my village. I need to do so many things. Which kind of service am I talking about? So giving service to a bunch of selfish individuals who can only use you and get what they want and dump you. I mean, this is an ideal kind of a servant leader. Wonderful. And sometimes you can also have it even as a person, because maybe you are controlling a group, and controlling that group, you are in charge of that group. The way you dispose yourself, your attitude, your approach to them suggests that you're not selfish, suggests that you're not self-centered. You think about them, you consider them, you make decisions based on how they feel. Hello? An example of this kind is the late Mahatma Gandhi exemplifies servant leadership. He dedicated his life to serving the people of India and led the country in its struggle for independence through non-violent civil disobedience. His leadership focused on well-being of individuals, both within India and across the globe, through his advocacy for peace and justice. Hello? You see the example? Servant. Do you know another example? Mother Teresa, in my own view. Charismatic leadership, someone whose gift alone carries people around. Charismatic leaders are known for their personal appeal, enthusiasm, and the ability to inspire and influence others through their personality and vision. They often create a strong emotional bond with followers. The way he works, he or she comes to work very early and continues to work to serve people, to dedicated himself or herself to the service he's doing. In fact, if you come to his office, you will know that this man or this woman is actually charismatic. It's about their own personal giving, appeal, the way, and the ability they have to control, to manage, to guide situations. What is the example in the leader today? John F. Kennedy was a charismatic leader. Trump is a charismatic leader for me. I don't know who is John F. Kennedy, so I would prefer Trump. Trump was a charismatic leader who inspired both the United States and the world with his speeches and vision. His leadership during the Cold War, this is about Kennedy, Cold War, especially during the Cuban Missile Crisis, had profound impact internationally, rallying people to unite in the pursuit of peace and diplomacy. You know the story? He was there to assist John F. Kennedy. But for me, Trump is a charismatic leader because he will tell you the way it is, and he will say his mind, and he's still very bold. He was impeached for the first time, impeached for the second time, accused of so many things by the Democrats simply because they wanted that seat and nothing more. Not because Democrats are better. Look at what they are doing in Dodge now. Elon Musk is discovering how money is being misused and mismanaged by the same Democrats. Most of them are Democrats who tend to think that you may tend to think that they are there for good. You are said. Why using it to fund something that is not meant for? Okay, so for me, Trump is my leader. That is for me, not about my class. Situational leader, you know, situation. Someone, opportunist, somebody that can easily be called upon to handle crisis because he has the gift to do that. Situational leadership suggests that the leader adjusts their leadership style based on the needs of their team or the challenges they face. This style recognizes that no one style fits all situations and requires flexibility. This is a liberal-minded kind of a leader. There is a case, he adjusts and forgets about the law, forgets about the rules and regulations. Maybe consider human life here. So you have to adjust immediately, situate it to what is now, what is the situation now. After that, you talk of something else, but let us solve the situation right now. These kind of leaders are mostly liberal-minded people, not conservatives. Conservatives are, no, it must be like this. No, it must be like that. Most of conservatives. But liberal-minded people, they're always possible. They can adjust. Depending, of course, that somebody might be liberal socially, but conservative religiously. So it depends on situation. Are you there? Example of international leadership in this kind of leader. A diplomat negotiating a peace treaty in a conflict-ridden country may switch between a more autocratic style when quick decisions are required and a democratic style to ensure that buy-in all involved parties. The flexibility of this approach is essential in high-stake international negotiations. You see how it works? Drop your arms, drop your ammunition. You said no. Then in this situation, we can't allow you to take this arm. Either we kill you or we'll go and take it from you by force. Then after we must have killed you, we can now go and tell the people, sorry, it's better for one man to die than to the whole nation to die. So the situation is okay, then we have to kill. And then after that, we talk about how to appease the people, go to confession. Strategic leadership. Strategic leadership is focused on aligning an organization or a nation's long-term goals with its operational activities. Leaders with this style plan for future growth and success while managing the present. Strategic. You are focusing on something and you're trying to plot it today to make sure that it takes care of that tomorrow, that plan tomorrow. Strategic management, if you still remember. We want to have PhD in this our program, and then we started on time to employ the lecturers, many of them who are also will be qualified to teach for that program when we start it. Are you there? Example, leaders like Angela Merkel of Germany exhibited strategic leadership. She effectively guided Germany and the European Union through financial crisis, balancing short-term solutions with long-term European integration and stability. Hello?
Hi.
Coaching leadership. Coaching leadership involves a leader who helps others to develop their personal, professional potential through guidance, feedback, and encouragement. It focuses on helping individuals improve their skills and performance. Just like when you are doing your IS, you're going to be assigned a supervisor to coach you on how to do that. Example, an international leader with a global organization like World Bank. Leaders often engage in coaching to help governments of developing nations build stronger institutions. This approach helps countries implement reforms, strengthen their economies, and develop their human capital for long-term growth. Do you agree with this? Can you think critical here? Coaching. Imagine British coming to coach Nigerians to be better. You're talking again, and then what is happening today? I beg you better do a lot of research, bro. What is happening today? Say coaching. Look at what is the powerful thing they say here. World Bank. They try to help Africans, right? IMF, they try to help Africans, right? And yet, France will go to Mali and do whatever he wants, or Niger and do whatever he wants, and stifle them, strangle them from progressing, or even the one happening in Nigeria. Go to most of European countries, in my own view, you will see that their population sometimes just few millions. But in Nigeria, people have been clamoring to secede. People have been clamoring to separate. People have been clamoring to live alone. The eastern part, they are good enough, good number enough, populated enough to be. The northern part are good enough, populated enough to be.
The western part is it.
And the other side. But then, whenever you say it, it appears as if you are committing something else. And they will not allow it. Why? Google, and so how many millions are Belgium? Or is a country? Just Google. Luxembourg, Google, how many people are there as a country? You see? All these countries in Europe, Google and see how many are there. And they just partition, they just cling together, dealing with developing countries' wealth and using it for themselves. And when you want to succeed, you call it succeed, right?
Yeah.
Want to be alone, they will diplomatically and strategically make it difficult for you. Because if you do, they will not get to feed their people. They will not get to feed their people, that's all. Hello? Conclusion. Different leadership styles can be applied in international context depending on the situation, the needs of the people involved, and the expected goals to be achieved. International leaders often have to adapt and employ multiple styles to effectively manage diverse, multicultural terms and complex global issues. Whether it's through democratic collaboration, strategic planning, or charismatic influence, leadership in the international arena requires a dynamic, responsive approach to the constantly changing world stage. International leaders often have to adapt and employ multiple styles to effectively manage diverse, multicultural teams and complex global issues. Is it teams or terms? Teams, group. Whether it's through democratic collaboration, strategic planning, or charismatic influence, leadership in the international arena require a dynamic, responsive approach to the constantly changing world stage. Thank you very much. So now we go for questions. So any question for autocratic? Do you have any question for autocratic leadership? Any question for autocratic leadership? This one is very simple. Any question for that?
I would like to ask you. In this autocratic leadership, considering the countries that the world feel that they are autocratic, like their leaders are autocratic, why is it in most of these countries that they are more successful and or more disciplined
when they are autocratic?
Yeah, like when their leaders, when the leaders are autocratic. Maybe let me just say autocratic to a certain level, even if it's not absolute. But in this situation, most times there is this kind of discipline among the citizens, and most times it's as if the country knows the direction of where they are going.
Yeah.
So, do you think some countries like in Africa, which the government is not actually doing right to adopt autocratic leadership
I think in my own view, if you ask
democracy?
me, autocratic leadership is carried by leader making decisions without consulting others. The leader has full control over decision making and expects our subordinates to follow instruction without question. This is, for me, might be good in Africa, but the danger in my own view is that the person who is autocratic, it might enter his brain, it becomes worst. Because imagine if you're autocratic and you're focused and directing, putting the direction to beautify your country, to make your country better, and you continue with it, and the policies are for the people. Because the danger with autocratic is that when you are doing that for your own family, when you are doing that for your own selfish interest, but imagine that you're autocratic for your own country. I think that might be the best leadership stuff for anywhere, especially in the world of today. For me, that might be best for Africa, because I think confusion we are having is because of democratic principles.
Yeah.
Because our African cosmology, if you ask me, in my own view, is systemically autocratic.
Yes. But we don't want to take it that it's autocratic.
Yeah.
We use democracy to paint it.
In a pre-colonial African setting,
Yes, it was
autocratic, because even at night, when the gods are spoken, the entire night, in that you can't even hear the bird. When the SMO in Igbo land is trying to announce something, it looks like where someone has passed away. So that's why I say systemically, you might see this concept of autocratic leadership. And that's why Okonkwo is a very autocratic and things fall apart. And that's why he's feared and respected, because that goes with a kind of that kind of leadership. Okay, so for me, I think that might be because currently speaking, democracy is not assisting us at all. But the problem I have with it, when a leader misused it, when a leader used it for a selfish interest, when a leader now decides to kill opponents, when a leader now decides to take all the money that is there and the policies, if the policy is not okay and he keeps on implementing that policy, that's not favoring people. So that's why it's often very dangerous sometimes. Any questions from autocratic again? Now we get to no need to waste time here, because this is what is destroying most developing countries. Democratic. Government of the people, for the people, by the people. Who says so? Is your father for the people, or is your parents?
In actual sense, it doesn't really work.
It does not. That they just use it to deceive most people.
Yeah. But it doesn't work anywhere.
Yes. Where is the mic? Do I have it? Oh,
all right. Okay. I was asking a question. I wanted to know, this leadership or types of leadership we are discussing, is it focusing only in government or are institutions? Because I believe democratic leadership is very, very active in institutions like, let's say, schools, hospitals, companies, where decisions cannot just be made by the leaders.
How do you know in schools that the democratic principles are applicable in schools? Can you give an example why? Even in Siam University, who told you that we are democratic?
First off, I'm not.
How do you know?
I'm not in the admin department. I'm only a student, but from my experience with some offices, including yours, I believe that when you go to registrations, sometimes for something, they will tell you, I'll push to this, I'll push to that. So I believe decisions, for example, again, admissions. I tried MBA admission last year, the year right now, and I was told that my file was moved to MAPD because I was already in MAPD. So I believe there is democratic kind of leadership here, because decisions are not just made by one person. They move to offices from my own personal experience.
The tenet of democracy is not necessarily, the decision might be made by one person, but it's still democratic.
But what they tell us
decision might be made by many people, but it's still not democratic.
Yeah, but I believe decisions are inclusive here from my own dealing.
You know, this is very dangerous. Some people might be dying in a society, in unemployment, in a company, and you may think that is democratic because people they are afraid of their salary, people they are afraid of losing their job, and people are also afraid of so many things. And people are scared of so many things. Then you may be deceived into things because they move like this, therefore it's democratic. It's an attitude, it's an
Well,
approach.
my example is coming categorically from your own office. You tell me sometimes, for instance, I'm doing the police clearance and we have to move the letter.
The fact that they are pushing you to me to suffer my life instead of paying attention to my academic life. Democratic for who? Which means democratic to destroy my progress in life. Don't you know how my academic life has set back because of that particular thing? Democratic for what? Democratic for that's what we are saying here. That the fact that it's like that does not necessarily mean democratic. Because even in autocratic, why is it autocratic? The decision is taken, is very there, you know it. But in democratic, be very careful because someone might be being used all the time by an institution and you work and work and work and work and destroy your life because of work, because it's democratic.
Okay. Yeah.
Not actually the job itself.
I'm not. That's why I started by I'm not in the admin, right?
Yeah, but then that's the fact, right? But you have to look into this leadership principle so that you cannot get confused with. That's why we are saying that even in developing countries, that this does not work. But we pretend to think that it works, right? You are democratic, but you voted for last election that you voted. Who did you vote democratically? Majority voted for P to be democratically, right?
Yeah.
Then who is the leader now?
Yeah, I'm just good
Can I? I'm still a bit confused. I understand democratic leadership is not working in Africa, as we said, and in most part of the world. But in this context now, is it only are we talking about government only? Because I know in companies, for instance, where I work, we are very democratic with leadership. You know, decisions are being made together. We move. Everyone is included in every move they're supposed to make. So I believe that's how it works in most companies or most places. So I'm saying, does this leadership apply only to government, or we're talking about
leadership
generally?
is leadership, whether government or private, or even my personal life also,
Okay.
or even your personal life.
From my own view, I believe that this democratic leadership is not absolute. In most cases, like as you said in a company, your team members might be democratic, but the company itself is not democratic. Maybe the boss, as a prof is a teacher, the boss only wants him to teach the students. Maybe his team might not just, okay, come out in a round table, okay, what courses are we going to take? How are we going to take it? What are the time and all those things? Then they will sit and maybe agree on these ones. Yes, this is a good democratic aspect, right? But the non-democratic aspect of it is that the boss wants them to teach the students so that he will make his money.
Or another example, that you are employed me to be thank you. You employed me to be a lecturer, and then I came here to be a lecturer. Suddenly, you now added administrative work into it. I have to do police clearance. I have to do visa, whatever. Combining it, how many times when you came in here, you see I was there doing so many other things to finish it before I started class.
Yeah.
So you call it democracy?
No. So
is that kind of a systemic autocracy?
Then again, again, when you are talking about in government, most democratic government that we are seeing, they have people in the parliament, and these people are appointed or elected from the same party, right? So when they come to the open space, all of them will start saying the same thing, which they have already agreed at the back, that is behind the scene, right? So they have already agreed on that. So they are just debating. You feel that this is actually democracy because everybody's talking.
Just like you can also feel that European nations are democratic.
Democratic.
Are they democratic towards Africans? They are democratic for what? Are they European countries? Are they democratic?
Democracy is actually a kind of selfish.
Huh?
Is a kind of selfish.
The question is, if we understand that
You cannot remove the question from the concept.
from the concept,
It's better you understand the concept and apply it to your question or area that you're getting confused because
It only works for government.
does it only works for government?
no, leadership is leadership. We're not talking about government alone. We're just using an example. Then I say example in international leadership.
In families, are mostly autocratic.
Leadership.
You understand? So how do you want?
Just like that most dads are autocratic and moms are democratic.
Not even. No?
In Nigerian context, most families are autocratic, but there are societies. Patricia, yeah, but however, there are societies that decisions are shared. Like before you take any decision, you have to let your other half know. You're not exactly. You're working with the other. So in that context, now we will now say democracy is not effective there.
That's why I say that it is not absolute. It's not in whatever thing you say, wherever you see yourself. Democracy is not 100% practiced.
I don't agree. That has been my agreement from the beginning. I feel like.
What didn't you agree? I don't
So
You
tell me
said-
one. Just
you
say
said-
one institution.
What did you say last?
I say that no matter what you say, whether government, whether institution, whether company or whatever, democracy is not practiced 100%.
And I disagree again with that because, like I said initially, the company where I work and other companies I've seen, decisions are made from the description I'm seeing here. It practically happens in some places, which is why I said this argument we have about democracy leadership or democratic leadership.
I want to ask him a question. So excuse me.
And at the same time, I also understand there's still hierarchies.
I want to ask him a question.
Okay, ask.
As you're saying that your company is democratic, right?
Yeah.
Have your boss, maybe people are in the round meeting, he say who wants to come to work tomorrow and who doesn't want to come to work? And you will say, yes, I don't want to come to work. He say, okay, there's no problem.
First off, that
Do you understand what I mean?
Hold
This
on.
is democracy. This is what it means by being democratic, right?
No.
This is say your mind. Even when you
No.
are sick, you
No.
need to get permission not to come to work because somebody is paying you, and that person has something that has
So
authority
is
over
the
you.
essence of democracy is we should always do what we like. I'm sick, let me stay at home, and then my boss says
I
correct.
think it's part of it.
Yes,
That's not. So how do we function as a company if everybody just
See,
stay home?
listen. Okay. Let me just sir. Let me just ask another question. Let me just ask another question, right?
with you.
Okay. Now, your boss. I don't know what you are doing. Okay, let me use my business as an example.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a distributor of drinks. Then my workers
Supposed to bring some drink for us.
when you come to Nigeria, I'll give you enough. So now I cannot come out and ask my workers, do we need to go and supply this so and so shops drinks
Why?
or not?
Why not?
You understand what I mean? I cannot ask them. I don't need their opinion
Yeah.
whether to who to supply or who not to supply.
Okay, can I say something?
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Listen, calm down, let me finish. What I need is for them they can make their own decision and say, okay, we are supplying this person first, or supplying this person second, or supplying the other person third. I don't care. But all I need is that supply, all of them must be done. So right now, I am the one in charge. And I
So
have
you
given
are,
them a
from
go.
the beginning of what you said, you're already an autocratic leader or company. All right?
Okay, right. Okay,
You don't need anybody's. You are the boss. You are the owner of the company. You are the head, right? You have sales. You have distributor. You have marketing. If it's a company that has all these offices or positions, it is somebody's role to play. You as a boss will ask, okay, are we going here or there? They will tell you we're going here. It's your own, but it's somebody's job to do the sales and marketing or distribution. You get my point? So if it's truly a democratic leadership kind of setting, from the get-go, you know who to ask. Are we going here or there? You just make that
Where
decision
did you
yourself.
work? Where did you work?
It doesn't matter. I'm just speaking from a company perspective. I don't think my boss, I would.
I agree with what you say. Because
Yeah.
No,
even though it doesn't depend on the kind of business.
I'm talking about
This situation can happen in one man business, in my opinion. One man business. I wanted to ask, is it a one man business? If it's a company, you can't just say, oh, we're going here, we're going there.
let me tell you one thing that made my elder brother. I want to tell you a story of myself. When I came out, because my father died early, my elder brother was like taking the role of a father in our house.
I'm just saying.
And then he came out one day when I was actually going into business. This is not his mindset. He doesn't know anything about business. So he felt that I'm making a mistake. You understand? So one day, he told me that, say, with all these kind of things I'm running around, because that time I'm not seeing anything much in my pocket, say that if you continue like this, you'll be a poor man. Why not go and study? After your studies, you become this, and you got to do your master's, then you start getting a job and all the rest of them. Yeah, this is his own perspective, right? So he now said all those things. I now asked him one simple question. That, do you know that this company that you are working for is someone's business? That is when he stopped asking me such questions or telling me such things. Now, talking about democracy, there is nowhere you will see democracy playing in 100%. You understand me? It is not going to play in 100%. Like, let me use America as an example, which are the advocates of democracy, right? Now, Trump came up and he said that we are taking the Panama Canal. These people should come and become, Canada should become the 51st state of America. In democratic sense, he needs to consult all. You understand? Including Canada. They will stay in a round table and then they will discuss and then see if they will agree or not before he will start saying those things. Do you understand what I mean? So right now, is it democratic?
Let's differentiate something. We're talking about democratic leadership. In a government sense, now America is practicing democratic government, right? Is Trump democratic leader? That's why I said before, does it mean somebody, when this topic started, I asked the question, I don't remember what the question is, but now, America is a democratic country, yes, but is Trump democratic leader?
Yes. Yes, that is okay. Because it cannot be an autocratic leader in a democratic
I have another question.
government.
In democratic leadership, do we also have hierarchy of people?
Of course, there's always a hierarchy.
So if there is hierarchy, is there no point?
So as long as there is hierarchy, there is no absolute democracy.
Yeah. Before all of you.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Now you answer your own question. That every what's the name? Company is what's the name? Every company has a leader, hierarchy. So the thing comes from up to down. It's not like it's only coming before you as a group. So when the whole thing gets to you, it becomes democratic. That it's like everyone is participating into it, but it doesn't come from up like that. But it gets to you, like what you were saying about Siam University. It comes to prof office. Before it even comes to his office, it has come from up. It passed through different systems. That is why it's a system that is set. You understand? It doesn't just come like once like that.
Listen, there is democracy. Listen, let me tell you, there is, in every democracy, there is an atom of autocracy in it.
Yes, atom of autocracy before democracy comes in.
Yeah, the problem I have is the way your statement, you said there is nothing like democratic
100%.
leadership and there is no 100%. Maybe it could have come a different way, like in every democratic leadership, there is still an atom of autocratic leadership.
Meaning that it's not 100%. 100%.
So again now, in a democratic leadership, does it mean there is no leader that will make the final say? Does it mean that the entire group will agree and conclude, or the leader will now be the one to say the final thing?
That's what is happening to Trump.
Yeah.
He says something and they oppose it.
Mm.
Why? Because it's not the final decision.
Okay.
You understand that?
Mm.
From your question right now.
Yeah.
Trump is not the final decision.
Are you with Mike?
That's from your question. What you asked a question right now. Trump is not the final decision. So he says something and it has to be opposed because many people have to participate in whatever he is saying and it has to be agreed upon. So if they don't agree upon it, a decision will not stand.
Can I ask you one question?
Okay. Ask me.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not, I have Mike. I'm not opposing anything that has been said here today. I totally understand everything. I just have one question.
Okay.
Again, my problem or my argument is at the beginning, it came off like, oh, there is nothing like democratic leadership. And I had problem with that. I'm like, no, there is, especially in companies. Even if there is no democratic leadership in government, there is in some companies I've seen. But now my question is, because some people's argument is the fact that regardless of how decisions are made by every management team, somebody will still be the one to call the shots. So I'm asking now, let's say in a company now, the owner have a meeting with the entire team and agree on a new policy, and let's say 50% agree with it, 50 doesn't. The owner says, okay, we're going with option A or B. Does it automatically change it from a democratic decision or leadership pattern because he's the one that gave the final shot, since everybody gave their opinion? That's all I'm asking.
The other people that oppose it might consider it autocratic right away.
That's what I'm asking you as a prof now, that because somebody, the owner, as I said, the owner of the company is the one that now made the final shot, but is in the open table where other management people give their opinions. Does it change? Does it mean it's not a democratic leadership? That's my confusion and my challenge.
Okay, Mike wanted to answer it.
Okay, for me, I think what we consider democracy has to do with the process. That not actually like the decision that was taken. I think the process.
It is not actually decision. If you take a decision unilaterally, it's not a
No,
democracy.
I mean the process that led to that decision. Because for the fact that you sat down with people and discussed and had a discussion on a particular policy, and then you have 50-50 divide from both sides, and you as a leader, you from the 50-50, you took a decision. You get. To me, it's not autocracy because there was a meeting.
That's what I'm saying. The people, the other side, in that particular meeting, we consider it autocratic.
What would you consider it, sir?
No, them, not me. I'm not. You're talking about 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn.
They're the people, the other side that could not support.
For me, it's not autocratic.
Yeah, no. The other people. For you, it is not. But in that kind of setting, the other group that may have felt left aside may consider it something else. They may no longer consider it as autocratic.
That's why I say, before even in the government setting, before they will come out.
And again, just like one of the philosophers said, you say 50-50. Content of this 50-50 is very important. You might go and use money to manipulate this 50, or you might bring people that don't even think critical to know the danger of the decision. You still think that they have won because they are majority or something like that. So it's more of the content of even people who are voting is very important. What do they know? And what? Because most autocratic leaders also use democracy to cover up.
Well, for me, from his question,
okay, so
I don't think it's
what you just said now. So long as the leader have already called all the members, all the team members to discuss about it before now dishing it out, is still a democracy. But in a situation whereby the leader just said, we are going to do this thing and this is how we are going to do it, that's no discussion with any team member also. That's autocratic. But so long as he has already discussed it in a round table and later now take the final decision,
discussing in the round table make it democratic alone?
For me, for me, that is it. Yeah. That is it.
See, let me tell you, if you're talking about...
I'm talking from
Excuse me. When you are, if you want to say something to be absolute democracy, do you understand? Yeah. As all of us are in this class, first of all, yeah, Dr. Emmanuel will have come out and say, we have so and so topics. He's the teacher. We have so and so topics. Which one do you want us to teach? This is democracy. All of us will now say, okay, we want this one. This is democracy. As long as Prof came out here, he's the one that chose this topic to teach today. And all of us agreed that we are learning
you are forced to agree.
Teaching us. He is autocratic in his own way. You understand? Because he's one that picked
because I never
topic.
I never asked for your decision.
Yes, he never asked.
We are
understand me?
going to talk about leadership. And nobody can. This is the perfect example.
You understand me?
I get you. Yeah. I'm trying.
A one-man thing.
Yeah, and I just impose types of leadership for you.
You just make the decision and go.
Yes. A one-man company. It works with most of the churches in Africa. One man thing. It's a decision made. When the pastor come up and say, this is what we are doing, all the church member will follow. That's autocratic. It's a one-man company. So that's exactly what he just said.
Interestingly, most of us get it wrong all the time, including professors, including lecturers, because we only carry away the government of the people, for the people, for the rabbi.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
There's more to that.
I'm sorry. This is my last.
Do you hear about democratic education?
No, I haven't
Democratic
heard.
education by John Dewey.
Yeah.
And that is the paper I presented in my master's degree in philosophy. And that is John Dewey, critical analysis of some John Dewey's education. And that's exactly what Nkari said. That you cannot just come to class and start impose topic on the student. If this is the class, allow them to do what they're supposed to do, what they love doing. Now, what we are doing is imposing things on people autocratically.
Okay, does this topic a lecturer or a professor teaches us go through the school management or curriculum, whatever? Because I believe as students, are we supposed to tell you what to teach us? Do we know? If we know, why are we here?
If we are telling the lecturer what to teach us,
Yeah.
it's democracy.
No, I think people want so much from democratic leadership. We want so much from it. No, no, sir. Yeah. It's not. You want so much, sir. If you let people have this understanding of democratic leadership. Let me just finish. This is my last, all right? With the way you people explain this democratic leadership, you will want everything. Even exam, you probably will tell them to give you the question. Because why do we tell a professor?
Exactly, and that is democracy.
How?
According to John Dewey.
How? According to John Dewey. No.
Before
That's why democracy is not working in Africa. Because we cannot tell our parents what to do. But in America, they can stand up and tell them.
It's not even working everywhere. It's a deception. How can it be working? Listen, how can it be working everywhere? And America will wake up and go and bomb another country.
Exactly.
You see?
and have 750 army bases all over the world. 750. So using the example that he gave, I think before you came and started teaching us this topic, there was a process in the sense that the department agreed on this course, and then the very first day we had our lecture, you gave us course outline for us to go through. There was a course outline. Yes.
I probably imposed the answer on you. Without your permission.
As long as the schools are taking the decision without us. You understand me? As long as the schools are taking the decision without us.
It's not democracy.
Management, right? You have people at the top.
That is not democracy.
Okay,
So the management is autocratic.
Yes.
in essence, we're going back to what he said. There is no 100%. There's no 100% democratic. There is no 100% perfect. There's no perfect democracy.
There's no way you say democracy.
Okay, let's round up. Okay, so as you can see, Anyway, don't forget, we are battling over Western concepts.
Yeah.
That for me is the final answer. Democracy is not my mother's language. In every nation, in every tribe, in every society, whoever created them, naturally they have got something how to handle themselves.
Yes.
So what we're battling now is what we're fed with. Now we're talking about leadership. They created the type of leadership and we're studying it because, why? Because we're into Western style of education. And this is simply what autocratic leadership is, what we have just learned today. And look at the second one, democratic. Look at what is it according to them.
Participate.
Then you get to the third one, transformational. Look at what they say it is. And then transactional, this is what it is. And then laissez-faire leadership, this is what it is. Servant leadership, this is what it is. We have just done that. Charismatic leadership, we have just done that. Situational leadership, and then strategic leadership. We also went into coaching as a form of leadership, and we concluded. So we call it a day. So you have to stay. Let me take the photo, and then you sign the name for those who are
Sir, can we
around.
get the file, the PDF?
Pardon?
Can we get the slides?
After the exam.
What's the And also, sir, do we have a group yet?